we seem to be going through the show very quickly tonight. Must be because Lynn's not here. Anyway, now back to Noel. It's good to see all these new leagues cropping up, isn't it? And particularly this one, we've got team of youngsters in it as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's one thing that I feel a lot of clubs probably don't help youngsters enough and try and encourage them to join a club. It takes one or two dedicated people to get the youngsters interested and then help them out, show them how to play the game, the etiquette of the game, and generally how to behave themselves on a bowling green. All too often, there's always talk in the press and in the media about youngsters have got nothing to do. Well, in the Stockport area where I live, they've got a bowls development association going on with the local council, and they actually go into schools and teach people how to play bowls, teach youngsters how to play bowls. So if that could be done in other areas, you need a development association, and then you need to get into the local council and the schools, and that's where it all begins.
That's right. Yeah. Just turning the clock back a bit, Noel. How did you get into the game then?
Well, I was born at my father's pub, the Red Lion in Withington, and at the back of the pub was, guess what, a bowling green where my grandfather played and my dad played, and within a short space of time of me learning to walk, I was thrown out on the bowling green. That was my playground.
I've seen the photograph of you in a little cap on a green.
Well, I have actually been playing bowls for about 63 years now, so maybe that's attributed to a bit of success,
And obviously, you say you've been playing for 60 odd years. You must have seen a lot of changes in the sport from your first days.
Yeah, well, I think one of the funny things that a lot of people these days won't know about, but when I first started playing in leagues, and I've forgotten what the measurements were, but they used to be, you couldn't have the mat and send the jack on the same side of the green within, I think it was about a 3-yard area. Sure. And there were markers on the green, and if you had the mat positioned and you sent the jack and it ended up inside that marker, the jack was sent back and given to your opponent. I think the original idea of that was to stop people hogging one side of the green so that nobody else could send the jack into that area. And the other thing was, used to be a button in the middle of the green or a bottle top, and you couldn't send the jack within whatever it was. I think it was 3 yards of that. There again, that was to stop people getting in the way in the middle of the green and stop other people playing corner to corner. Although those things disappeared some years ago now. I mean, the likes of Mike Leach and even myself probably wouldn't have been as successful because we wouldn't have been allowed to play up the edges of greens. Gary Ellis is another one. He loves playing up the edges, and he wouldn't have been allowed to.
Your own career, I mean, you've won everything now already. There's to go, but I mean, particularly apart from your Waterloo successes in All England, to win 4 different county medics is something you must be very proud of.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's not, that I've sort of just gone to a different county for any other reason than business. As I said, I was born in the Manchester area, which was part of Lancashire. And then in 1980 we formed the Greater Manchester Association, so then I played for Greater Manchester.
So you'd won the Lancashire Merit
before? I'd won the Lancashire Merit before then. My father had won the Lancashire Merit as well. I think we were the only the second father and son that had ever won the Lancashire Merit. Then I moved to Derbyshire, had a public house in the Peak District, and I'd only been there a matter of half a day, I think, and Pat Heaney from Buxton was knocking on my door. Don't care what you're doing, you're playing for Burbage in Buxton this year, and then you'll have to play for Derbyshire. and eventually I won the Derbyshire Merit. Some 12 years later, left the Peak District and moved to Stockport, which is part of Cheshire. Didn't play county bowls for probably about 3 or 4 years, but then I got a phone call. No, we need you. We need you to play on the Lloyds in the home match against Yorkshire. You know the green so well, you never lose on it, we need you. I said, well, okay, just as a one-off. So I played and I won, and then it was, we need you again for the next match. And, well, I've not stopped playing for Cheshire since, and that was about probably 6 years ago, and then culminated with winning the Cheshire Merit last year, so that's how the 4 merits have come into being. I keep telling people that I'm thinking of moving to North Wales, or I might move to North Midlands or Staffordshire, or still got a few counties to go at yet.
No, it's a tremendous achievement, isn't it, Jamie?
Marvellous. I mean, everybody strives to win just one merit, let alone 4, and it's a brilliant achievement, and yeah, can only congratulate you for it. It's not the only thing you've won though, is it?
Well, I've been around long enough to.
We've got to mention last year's All England. I mean, I actually interviewed you in one of our TV recordings, didn't I, about a month before the All England?
I know, yeah, it was after I won the Cheshire Merit, and you asked me about what were my chances in the All England. I said, well, 6 games of 21 up in a day. Don't know whether I'll keep my concentration going for that length of time, but well, I proved quite a few people wrong. In fact, I don't mind saying, and anyone can listen to this now, that the day before, apparently Brian Duncan was there at the panel matches at the Red Lion West Horton, and he was overheard saying to somebody that that Burrows might go a few rounds and cause a bit of trouble, but he can't win it. So the following week when I saw Brian, I just looked at him and he sort of smiled, and enough said.
No, I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, how many years was it between your first win?
Something like 34, I think.
34.
So I've worked it out that next time I win it, I'll be 100.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you'll do it as well, Noel, as well.
But I remember the first one was at Clive Miners Welfare Club near Wrexham.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
And what others? What do you personally think is your greatest achievement out of all your successes?
Well, I mean, winning the Waterloo the first time, that will always stick in my memory. It was 1972. My father, he'd been ill, but he was there, and I'll never forget when I'd won the last end. Somebody came running on the green, threw their arms around me, but I could see my father up in the West Stand at the Waterloo with his trilby hat on, and he was just stood there applauding. Well, I just welled up then, and I've got to say, I mean, it's 39 years ago now, and every time I mention it I still feel that that's it. I can just see him stood there, and that was a really proud moment for me, because he'd played in the Waterloo for 30 odd years, and I think he got as far as the last 16 one year, and but to see his son at age, 28 then, he was, that was just a wonderful moment.